session of the Human Rights Edu Democratisation in Africa project from the International Human Rights Education Project. Norbert and I have spent a number of the last few years debating these issues, and I know how dear it is to his heart that human rights education is something that people get involved in, that people talk about, and that it's something that he's been looking at developing for a number of years, I think. So I'm assuming that you all know Norbert. Yeah? And I'll introduce you to this is Dr Konga, and he's going to explain, to start with, the content of this course, which is going to operate at level 3 and level 4. So, okay, Norbert, when you're ready.
Good evening to you all once again. I really appreciate your presence here tonight. I think we go. I thank you, Jude, for introducing me. We will not wait, we no longer continue waiting because we expected to have more people than the number that I see here, but because they are not turning to start. This session is about presenting what the whole conception of this program is about, and also we thought that after the presentation we will have people who once interested in the program, they could register, put their name down in the text, and we are about to start running the program. I don't know my voice, if people are back there, if you are able to hear me. Are you being able to listen to what I'm saying? Thank you very much. And I appreciate your presence, pastors. I invited the members of the police, the Stockton police. I don't know if I can't find any, and other communities to be here with us, because we talk about human rights, education, we talk about law, and the law enforcement, and the civil servant, and all these agencies. We need to work with them, and in order to establish or to succeed in what we want to do. So Jude, who just spoke a few minutes ago before me, is actually a senior lecturer at TC University, my senior lecturer, my professor, my teacher. Thank you, Jude, for coming. I have the privilege to have you in the room, and many other people that I have personally invited who have been able to tell them. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Jude has always done more than what the university required from teachers and professors. She always has time for us students. Like this night, it's totally outside the task of a professor, but she has been able to manage. She always puts more time and energies for us. So I had to acknowledge that from you. Thank you very much. And for many years of training, I've been giving you some troubles, a lot of questions and things. Hiwa, thank you for coming. My promotional, we just finished together at TISA University. So we are actually Jude's old students at TISA University, law department. We do appreciate your presence here. I don't know if I should go a little bit. I know there are people who said they will be leaving soon, but please, if you can give me some minutes, because I have to introduce myself properly. Because if we all understand the origin of this whole idea, or we understand what the thing is about, then we will be motivated. We can engage ourselves to what we are about to do, what we are about to hear this night. I'm Dr Konga, born in Congo, in Africa, grown up there. I came to the UK about 9 years ago. A 90 technician, and I went to December. Before that, in Africa, I did some years of medicine, but I changed when I came here. I studied at Riverside College. I became a 90 technician, but I was still not satisfied. There was something in me asking me to do some more and more. So in the field of law, I had no law background, so I had to start from zero. work for the Citizens Advice Bureau a few years. I gained some experience from there. I was open to the law field, and then I went about 5 years ago, 2009, to start my course, a master's degree in human rights at TESOL University. So when I started, and even while doing it, I was thinking, you know our background, you know where we come from. A lot of wars and problems, conflict, ethnical conflict, genocide, a lot of problems in Africa, the post-electoral problems. So in order to contribute, to put something, to contribute, to see what we could do, I thought, I had another subject, I was about to talk about politics and this and that, but I changed it to something more practical that could help, like to educate people so that we could avoid some violations of human rights. People being raped, killed, arbitrarily arrested, and this and that, especially in Africa and some other countries of Asia. So in order to accomplish that, I changed my subject. I thank you for that. She's always there for us. I changed my subject. I said, Jude, I want to work in human rights education. I want to do a piece of research and like, see what we could do. Before me, we had some commissions. Each country, after the Vienna Conference or Assembly of the United Nations, we have each country subscribed into that convention had to set a commission for the nation. So in the UK, we have a commission for equality and things. In Congo, we have a commission. In all countries, I don't know, not all of them, but most of the countries have been able to set a commission to try to promote human rights and to protect the rights of the people. I will go back to explain what is the right, what is the law, what is the society, why do we need human rights, why do we need to protect them? Well, there are some claims, they are natural, because we are human beings. So the mere fact that we are human beings, you already have in your possession those claims that you can put. The government and people must respect them. Anyway, whether they are respected or not, they are there. Human Rights Declaration is there, and it has been adopted by almost all countries around the world. So we thought, I was once traveling a bit in the countryside in Congo, and what I noticed was that some programs that have been set, as I said, set up by the government, the Commission for the Protection of Human Rights in the city, they are like limiting themselves in the cities. They don't go to the countryside, they don't teach people, people don't know. But the most of the time, when we hear that we have child soldiers are being recruited, people are this and that, it's mostly from the countryside, not from the town, from the cities or the capitals. That's something that we all need to know. So if today, I thought, if we have to do something to stop this, is what to do, the right thing to do is to go to equip those people with the knowledge, so that they might know their right and responsibility. They might know that they are not forced to engage themselves, to become rebels or to become this and that, you know? And especially to make people understand that we, in this global world, in this world that we live today, is a planetary village. You know, the knowledge and social medias and things are there, have been pushing things forward. People today to be informed is not a very big deal. So we thought we could use the access to information, the access to internet, which is in itself a human right, the access to internet. Facebook said internet is a human right in itself, that allow people to access information. We could use social media, we could use the technologies or the internet today to allow people to access information. Because in the villages and the areas that they are, if they access information, if they learn more about the international law or what the human right is about, they will know how to protect themselves and even how to defend their rights when they are violated. So that's the main issue. How to get there. As I said, there have been institutions before me, before this one. But they are like books that have been written or developed around the human rights and the promotion of human rights are kept in libraries, in universities and high school and things. So the grassroots community, the people in the community are not really informed about what is going on around the world, the contemporary issues and things. So these institutions just to kind of coming to fill that gap, you know, between those who are less knowledgeable and academic, those who are at an academic level, who know much about human rights. I don't know if you are still together, just to fill that gap. Because, as I said, there are some the human rights education, as I said from the Vienna Conference of the United Nations, has even set a decade in 1994, 2004, the first decade for human rights education. But what we notice is that has not really achieved what people were expecting it to achieve, you know. So the second decade was set to say, let's try again, let's educate people, let's see what can happen. So books, resources are being given to institutions, to nations. But if I ask some of us here, if you have ever been across a book talking about human rights, about the development of contemporary issues, how the law or human rights are being breached or violated, the answer will be no for many. They are kept in libraries. So we won't take them out of the libraries. We want to put them in the disposition of the people, the common people, those who have not been, let's say, well educated. So you don't need to be afraid. If you are here, you have not been in a certain university or had a certain background, academic background, don't worry. The intelligence is not in English, the intelligence is not in French, the intelligence is your way of living in the society, doing good. Well, I can have a PhD and doctorate and this and that, but I can maybe still not be able to live with other people in the society. So we don't let them down, we don't exclude, but we want to welcome everybody. Whatever your background, even if you don't have a political background, anthropological, sociological background, we will be able to take you about and to tell you from A to B what the human rights is about. Because it actually encompasses all the issues, all our life, all the issues around our life. You know, we can talk about physics, we can talk about protection of environment, we talk about sociological issues. So it encompasses a lot of issues around, you know, our daily life. And you don't need any background for that. So institutions before me, what they used to do is to kind of have up programs. They have like 1 month, 2 weeks program. They will come at a certain place, they train people, and then they go. And for years, when there is nobody to follow up the programs or what people have gained as knowledge, what happens, they just forget about it. So there have not been an institution that have been really able to follow up the program or to really stress or make a very good framework of a very good program and teach it as it is required. Yes, actually, after the announce of the second decade for the human rights education by the United Nations, that will go till the next year, 2014. Still, we don't really see fruit for that. A lot of results, but after they announce, we have thoughts that if they will again go for a third decade for human rights education, we have to engage from now to see what we can do, because they are not doing much. We want programs that can be run for years. Or this one has been set for 1 year. It's a 1 year program, and you get a level 3 or level 4 when you do the full year. Level 3 when you limit, you have all the data, what you'll be able to do to have a level 3 award and certificate, a human rights and democratization. I will come back to that. We marry them because you can't have a democratic government you can't have a democratic government when there is no respect of human rights. So they all work together. The governance, democracy, human rights, they all work together. You can't dissociate them. So the certificate you get from them for a 1-year program, there have never been such a program. We have searched in Europe, in Africa. I personally traveled in more than 3 countries, talking to academics and trying to find out if you have anything like that, but we were unable to find it. So this is new, something that is unique. We invite people to embark on it and be able to teach others, because actually we are targeting leaders of communities. If I go to Africa, we target churches. We go and see, because we don't need to build buildings or centers, physically speaking, in order to teach people about human rights. We'll be using communities and other civil organizations that are already in place that do not really offer those kind of training for a long period. We help them and deliver courses with them. Our politics is that we want to actually try to make people pay a little bit, not too much, just £50 to subscribe, and to register, just £50 a month, and for 10 months, if you run the program during 10 months, you get, you achieve, and you get your certificate. But we want for those people, for the people, for the countries, poor countries, we are still thinking we don't need to charge. We use whatever means we have in order to go and deliver the course free of charge, at least at level 3. As I said, in the villages and places, we were thinking of starting here and taking it to Africa, to Asia, in India. I invited someone. I said, he will be working with me. And I thank you for coming. It will be a very good help for me. And here are my friends sitting there. Here you take this message across Asian countries. The message is we want also to, I think it was Said actually who was talking to me the other day, we need to demystify human rights. But when people hear about democracy, human rights, they don't even really want to hear about it. Because they think that the way, excuse my language, democracy is being imposed actually in some other countries without considering their cultures and background, more and flow and things. The people are afraid, because in that way things have been going very wrong. We have conflicts just because democracy has been imposed to some other countries or whatever. We want to go and teach people so that will come from inside, from the internal place or society. We don't want to impose democracy to nation. We want to go and educate people and equip people with necessary knowledge so that they might defend their own rights and protect them. Also, you might ask me the reason why why this thing that is totally new, and while we have big institutions like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and as I said, there's a very good commission in human rights and equality in this country and some other countries. They actually usually, firstly, we want to be totally independent. And going to other countries or going to other places, we will not be accepting a gift from government, especially in Africa, because we will be dependent. Look at what is happening when there is election. The ruler will try to change the constitution to maintain himself in power and this and that. When at the end of it, the result is like people are demonstrating, people are doing this and that. What they do, they open fire and they start killing people. What they do, they will, if you come as a human rights organization to try to claim or to say what is wrong and what is going on, they will pay you, give you money in order to, for you to run your organization. So they are not free to talk. We will not be accepting those kind of things. So we will be running from here and we will be going to places with what we have in our possession. That's how we are going to run this institution around I say around the world. It's a very big ambition. My family was telling me, why have you started this? Because you know, when you talk about human rights directly, we talk about politics. We are seen in countries like, you know the way things work, some authoritarian government regimes. When you come, you say you are a human rights activist or educator or something, you are directly seen as an opponent. So you can easily get killed and things like that. So they will say you don't want to see your children grow up. You know, it's a very big ambition, and I will need people, motivated people, to join the movement and push it so that we can reach and have some positive results. Yeah, I know it is not easy. It is not going to be easy. As I said, fraud, lack of transparency or democracy in countries, the lack of control of power. You will see something called the High Court or Supreme Court in some countries, like in my country, that is supposed to judge or to say what is wrong and give the right to the legitimate president after the election, to give him the vote or to say that he is the one who won the election. But what will happen? They will do nothing. When there are irregulations, they forget that they are there, leaders are there. We are not talking politics, but as I said, human rights encompass all these issues. In our daily day, anything we do, if we sleep, if we fight, if somebody has abused us, if at work, when you go at work, you get paid because you work. So your boss has no right to come and insult you, or disrespect you. Because we have at that time the right to sue that person, okay? Because they have no right, or beat you up. You have the right to keep your body in integrity. They have no right to torture you or to enslave you. You understand? So anything we do in our daily basis or daily life has to do with human rights. We find it everywhere. So as I was saying, they have not a word to say because the judges that are put there in the court or Supreme Court or tribunals, they are chosen. They are being elected or chosen by the president himself. So they don't have a word one single word to say when things are not working properly. And I said, when people try to work, or when poverty is in the people, or when the people want to claim their rights, they get shot. They get killed. We have the cases around the world where people are going missing, and a lot of things are going around. In Syria and in other countries, you demonstrate, you get arrested, you get this and that. So people need to know their rights. Previous institutions have done a lot. Big institutions, as Amnesty International, as I said, they have done a lot, but they still need to do some more. We this time want to go and to the community, talk to people in the community area, not in the universities. We have programs like the one I did myself, a master's degree in human rights, but is anyone being able to go and do that at the university level? So this program is about going to the community, working with the grassroots, the normal class of the population to equip them with knowledge. We need trainers. We need to train trainers so that we can carry this message around the world. As I said, a very big ambition, but alone I can't do it. Or us alone, we cannot do it. That's why we call on you. The resources we have are from the United Nations. They are from the open resources that are put there for teachers and trainers. So we have developed a framework, a very good program that needed actually to be implemented, that needed actually to be applied, that needs actually, if people are really being trained and really follow the whole program, they will be well equipped. They deserve to receive that certificate. So they are very good, very, very good equipment of books and resources that we are using for that. The program has been approved by the Open College Network, Credit for Learning, at that level, because they have seen the content of the course. Our tutors will be all around the world. we have tutors from New York, from here, from Africa. We'll be marking the assignments and things for the students. I could show you the website. Actually, we are not being connected, but the e-learning website is there that has been developed in order to administrate the whole program and students around the world. They could subscribe from wherever country or town or city the web. For those who have not seen it yet, I just open it, just see how it looks like. We are still working on it because we just, it's a very, very big database that has to be modeled, transformed. That's what the Open University in this country is using. The same database has been developed and modified for this course. So technically, we'll be having everything that we need to run the program. As I said, tutors and specialists, qualified people will be around the world to mark and follow up the students and their training. I don't know what is going on. I wanted to show you the website. I assume then show the website and how it works. So that's in few words what we are going to do, how we are going to market that, how we are going to this and that. We hope that we get to be getting enough fund and we raise enough fund in order to run the program. The objectives or the aim, as I said, is to try in our best and the best that we can to stop crimes, wars, conflicts by educating, equipping people with the knowledge, necessary knowledge for them to protect their rights and defend their rights when they are violated. And it will help a lot to construct or to build, we talk about peace building today. In order to live in a peaceful world, people need education. I was somewhere in a meeting, someone was talking about, in the UK, how people, they say government should not be following what people say. If the population say, no, you don't want strangers here in this country, then you follow them, you don't follow them. People need to be educated, for example, to understand what the law of immigration and this are about. The laws are set there. There is one point I wanted to touch on, talk about, but I went to otherwise. The law is there for us. We see a police officer, we know, we must know that they are there for us. The law enforcement are there to enforce the law. The law must be there in the society. The first law is written in our conscience. So I would like to come back a little bit in that. We talk about human rights. We can't understand the importance of human rights if we don't go back to that notion of how the law, how it works, where it comes from, and why do we need it in our societies. One person has been put there, and another one, our forefathers or ancestors, when they were there, few of them, they meet somewhere in the village, they become a group of people that we develop together some ways of living, but then they had to set up something, to put something that was called law in order to regulate their relations, the way they were getting married, the way they were living, and other things, the way they trade. So we have, like today, we have commercial law, we have the family law, we have this and that. So the law is there just to regulate things. The first, as I said, the first law is written in our conscience. But the law enforcement just comes sometime when you see a police officer coming arresting someone who has just drove across passing the red traffic light. First, when you go and pass the red traffic light, you know the danger that is awaiting. You can get killed, and you can kill other people. So it is the first law is written in our conscience. I want to talk about the conscience. There's something very, very complicated about the law. Talk about physics. I did some of the physics. Talk about chemistry. All are physical things. But when we want to talk about law, it's very, very difficult because there we engage things that we cannot see. Conscience. We talk about the conscience, we talk about faith, we talk about our trust, we talk about point things that we cannot see. That's why I say the first law is in our heart, in our conscience. And it is not easy. Bad, good, bad, wrong. When we touch them, they totally leads us to the philosophical field. We start thinking of what is good, what is bad, what is wrong. So we need, I thought I would have some time. I'm just looking at some people who say they believe living early. To talk a little bit about that, because if you see violations, you see things that are going around, and even the way the behavior, people's behavior and attitude has changed in this today's world, it's just because of they had maybe mistakenly believed in some theories or some ideas that have not been good. We have some examples. We will be tackling this point as well. I'm sorry, actually it's point number 3. We talk about cultures, law. Oh, I don't know, that video is not living. I want to go to number 2 and number 3. How they interact, cultures and things. During the Second World War, the Germans killing the Jewish, at the base had something when reading the story. They believed in something. They believed at that time the Darwinian theory. We're talking about the natural selection. That the strongest could survive. So those things, I will not be taking a lot of your time in this thing, but just to remind you, the doctrines, there are some harmful theories and things that people believe, like the rape in Congo, the rape in other countries. When you read the story, they tell you there is a certain belief somewhere there. The soldiers must do that in order to get some mystical powers and things, must rape women. So we have to go against that when educating people. We have to, not against, I'm just saying, we have to go and negotiate. Because some other thing that is wrong when people try to educate people before or to bring the human rights education in the world. They think it's about teaching, that you'll be standing and lecturing. No, it's about going and using methodology that will help people to understand, to interact and participate, to ask them their problems. And the law, the human rights law, the books and syllabus and document materials we'll be developing, we will be adapting them according to the country's problems. Because each country has a different kind of problem. And they have different culture, different ways of seeing things. So we'll be going to negotiate with them so that they might understand what they will find good to keep and what they must let go. In Asia, for example, I have my friend here one day talked about honor killing. Parent killing your children. They kill you because you did something, like a woman, a girl who goes out and get pregnant before the marriage or something. Out of wedlock. They get killed. Laws like that, we cannot keep them today. So we will be going, but we will be facing opposition, we will be facing some dilemmas, working with countries. And we will take in consideration all that when we start working. So I was saying that in the Second World War, when killing the Jewish, killing the other, they thought they were a pure race. The Jews, they were a pure race and they were the strongest, so eliminating a weak person was nothing. But today we talk a different language. Today the strongest will not crush the poor or the weak and go free. Because we have the human rights law that is there in place. All human beings are born free and equal. And all is about respect, dignity, and equality. Those 3 aspects we do, and we try to keep them along the way. Equality, we are all born free. No one is allowed to kill or to end the life of another person. No one is allowed to do that. So we have things to keep and to see, analyze, rigorously and analyze theories and things that are taking people, helping people to commit violations of human rights. How to control the power, people who are in power say, I'm in power, I will crush, I will kill. People how to control the power. All that will be we will be getting all the information in this course for those who will engage in it. So how is it done to control the power and how is it go to observe the election to choose a legitimate president or a leader and those kind of things? We will be talking about it. So theories and things that are dangerous around the world. We had something, yes. Jean-Paul Sartre, a philosopher, a French philosopher, for example, we said that we don't know where we come from. So do we know where we go from after the death? So we can live, let us do whatever we think can make us happy and die, for we don't know what will become tomorrow. Theories like that. Look at what is happening around the world. Juvenile disorder, juvenile problems. They bring a lot of problems because they believe that many people believe that they don't know where they come from. They will just live and one day they will just die. But if time allowed me, if we go deeply, we see that we are not really right if we say that we can destroy ourselves because tomorrow I die, I don't know where I go after that. I don't even know where I come from. That will bring a belief notion, as I said. The law is not an easy thing. So the background, thank you very much. I call it a philosophical background. We talk about conscience, belief. We need to control these things because we can have sometimes some harmful theories. And even what we call theory today, because you are called to be trainers tomorrow, train in human rights. What we call theories today, theories are first ideas, observation, hypotheses that scientists or whatever will bring, and then the hypotheses need to be tested against some other observations, and before it becomes a theory, just an idea, and then they go through observation. That the theory as well must go through other observation in laboratory and tested in different places. If it still gives the same result, like today, you talk of a law in this country that can be applied in another country. You say honor killing, we kill our children because they are our children today. Can that be applied in another country? No. So that theory must be also tested in other places and give the same result before it becomes a law. So any law that we go look at the laws of physics, the thermodynamic, the law of motion, the law of this and that. They have been tested and they have been proven that they can be called law. So we don't take anything that anyone will bring in the society. We say this is a new theory or this and that, they call it. But they should apply it and live with it. Things like, as I said, in the Second World War with the German people, they thought the natural selection, that when the strongest survive, it is something that's good. The weak one can die, but today we protect the weak one. Today the weak one is also protected by this big umbrella, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. From the Article 1, we are all born free and equal. The Article 2, and when you go slowly, I have a copy here. I'll send to you electronically if you leave your email address. We have the Universal Human Rights Declaration. As I said, whether countries want to respect it or to respect your right or not, they are there because they are natural. Nobody can change them. You cannot, they are undeniable. You cannot change them. So theories, cultures, and things, as I said, we do not impose, we will not be going imposing them. We will negotiate with the people on the ground. We will set centers, as I said, we will do our best. We have a container of computers, actually. Certainly, I will need funds to ship it, 20,000, 10,000, whatever. We'll be shipping them to countries. We develop centers, internet center, where people can have access to information. In many countries, they don't allow people to have access to information. And you ask, what is going on? They forget that the sovereignty belongs to the people. The democracy, the sovereignty is for the people. The people, each individual having his power has been delegated, firstly, they have the right to choose who they want to be, to choose. And they have given that power to some people to lead. Everybody cannot rule over the people. We are 100 people. We cannot all rule or be leaders. So they give that power to somebody to lead. As I said, like police officers, law enforcement, they will give some power to people to enforce the law. Where the conscience is not working properly, or where, because sometimes we forget, as I said, crossing the traffic light, when it is red, you see it is red, but you are drunk, you cross it. You become yourself a danger and a danger for other people. So they choose who they want to choose. But today, how many presidents, especially in Africa, Asians sometimes, I don't know much, but there are people who are from Asia. How many leaders are legitimately elected from their own people? Things are going wrong, but there's no way of changing them. I can't say there's no way. That's what we are about to start fighting. People are fighting, but we are also going to contribute in that by educating people so that they become more, they know how to participate, to protect their rights and to defend them. So we have a big range of things that we are planning, we have to do. So I was saying, some cultures, I tackle Africa, when we say respect for women and this and that, they have not been respect for women. The protection of women, of the weak ones, they have not been things like that, but how to go and make people believe in that we need to go with methodologies, we need to know, to make people, to make them participate in the discussions, and I think by then we will reach a good solution. So anything that is not really being able to be applied to another place and give the same result, you cannot call it a law. So there are books that can prove that the natural selection is actually theory, Darwin, Big Bang. There are things that today, that is my opinion, we can prove. Because as I said, if we all believe, I came here by chance, I don't know where I'm going, I will live and die tomorrow, I don't know where I'm going. It is very, very difficult for those kind of people to respect the law. The people who can live anyhow, who do not believe that they are here for a purpose, or who do not know that tomorrow they can live and see tomorrow, they don't know where to go, where they are going after they die. It's very, very difficult for them, those kind of people, to respect the law or to have that humanity that we all have. Because in the article, the first article of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, they said that we should all have that brotherhood, live in brotherhood, have that love for each other, live in unity, in security. You cannot really have everything if we believe in things that are not really correct. So we need to start looking of ways of not removing them, but try to make people understand the same way I'm doing today. If I'm here by chance, the special way of the microbiology has shown us, even the way the chains of peptide in the DNA are designed. We go back to the theory of cause and effect. We can't have an effect, a stone moving, if there is not a force causing it to move. We can't exist by chance. If you study science, you see that even the position of the Earth in the cosmos, in the universe, is a very, very special thing. So if we don't believe that there is an intelligence or a force, there is something that started everything, that's very wrong. That's where we start having problems. That's where the world today, with all its wars and conflicts, and people are being more and more greedy, and we have troubles. The whole world and technology and science is sounding, it's like a broken record today. It sounds like a broken record because the conscience, the law that it should be, the conscience is not very there. So we we are going to work having some capacity of rigorously analyzing things. We will be able to sort out this kind of things and see. Try to preach or to teach human rights to people, to the base, the family, to families and communities, because the basic element of a society is a family. I was listening to the Queen, the last speech the other day. If the family is destroyed, the community that started the society is destroyed, then things will not work properly. You can notice that with me. Many things are not working properly today, like a broken record, as I said. Because the machines are mounted without the guidelines or the auto manuals. So we will be trying our best to sort those kind of things out. We will be well equipped because in order to really well teach human rights, we will be mixing it sometimes with some philosophical ideas, as I said. I've been running Cafe Philosophique for 7 years now in the Northeast. So I know a little bit about what you can do. Science can explain to you how things happen, how atoms come together to form a molecule. But the science cannot really tell you the reason why things are the way they are. So we have to think and become more conscious of what we are and take with us the law that will make us live in peace with one another. That's all what human rights stand for, what human rights is about. So any culture and things that goes, as I said, the law is there to regulate our relations, to regulate the way we trade, to regulate the way we live in family. Family law, commercial law, this and that. It's for us. The law is for us. And the human right is about everything. So the human rights education, the second point, why human rights education? The human rights education will be, I have already said it. I've already said what the human rights are. There are claims that naturally you have the right to present to a government or anyone, that they must be respected. So the human rights education will help us to understand and to build a peace, a society that will live in peace and in harmony. I'm getting to the end. I don't know if I've been talking a lot. We can have a little refreshment before we come back. If there are questions, if there's someone who's interested in knowing more or doing the course and who want to put down his name, we exactly do that. I would like us to go for a little break and come back for a few minutes, just for a few minutes, and then we will be free to go home. Thank you very much.
Norbert now would like to take some questions and then briefly conclude.
If anyone has a question or a comment or anything.
I'd just like to say that it's been very well informed, and it's a big project. It's got a lot of ambition. Do you have a lot of people interested in doing this course? And are they just in the UK, or are they all over the world? Because I understand that you have people from Africa, Asia, and you said you can do it in French, in English, and Arabic. I just look at what the content and what you've actually done. It's actually amazing. And to see this go forward,
Okay, I mentioned it already. I've been investing, and actually we need to reach, and we need our objectives. We need to achieve what we actually have been planning for years. For about 1 year now, I kept a container of computers that need to be shipped to Africa. We'll be having centers, set internet cafes and things for people to have access. The funding here could be a problem, but since then I've been working and investing my own money up to now into the project. How are we going to run it? As I said, it's a very big project, and we need people who are also motivated. I need people to join me. We have tutors all over the world. We have people in New York right now that are ready to work as tutors. We have some people from Africa. I have 2 friends who are here who are from Asia, who will be taking the message across the Asian countries, and we also will be working from Europe, from here. I called on the High Commission for Human Rights in Switzerland, and by January next year I'll be going to Switzerland. We need to talk to them because the work we are doing is we are supposed to be sustained. As I said, the United Nations Declaration was that government should support any kind of organization or institution needs put there to reach the people, to instruct them, to educate the people on human rights. So I hope it will be something that could bring more income to the project. But even if there is no money coming from wherever, as I said, I feel like being fulfilled. I've been doing a lot, but when doing this now, not medicine, not IT techniques, not by this, I feel like I'm fulfilled. I volunteer to do it, to take my little money, invest and do what I can do in order to have some branches all over the world. We're going from one country to another. And in each country, like we are having a license in Congo now, and from the Ministry of Justice, I'm just waiting for it to be sent to me. But they need, even here, the Ministry of Justice, we need to work with them. Institutions like Amnesty International, big institutions, as I said, they don't have much time, they don't train for 1 year. They come, it's kind of adult trainings, 2 months, 1 month. But now we are going for a very long period training, well-framed, well-programmed because it's done by specialists. I thank you, I thank Thyssen University for training us. So we are going to go, yes, please.
This education qualification, is it classified? Is it acceptable in each country? Because the legal rights in each country, like America and Britain and Asia and Africa, are all different. Would this all be acceptable throughout the world in this program, an education certificate?
Yes, the international human rights, international law, from the international law. So we have, as I said, the materials that we have for level 3, and if including level 4 of the source is international law, which is actually well accepted by many countries, almost all, for the whole world. They know what is the margin of appreciation, what is when the domestic law is to be compared with the international law. They know what the incompatibility system, how they work in the court and tribunals and the Ministry of Justice. They know how to it works, so we will not be having problems. Our problem is, as I said, we'll be having some barriers, culture barriers, and things with countries, but each country has its own problems. I just named Asia, honor killing case from the, I don't know if whether that is from the Quran or from the Sharia law, honor killing case. So we just be facing barriers, but as I said, we are trained in a certain way that we know how to negotiate with people, to make them participate. We will be asking them to propose to us what they think is right. Each country has its own problems. So in a participative way, an interactive way, we hope we find a solution to problems. Yeah.
Funding. different modules, different courses that people do, they want to know the accreditation boards. Like your course, is it accredited by T-side or is it accredited by which board does your course accredited by?
I will the Open College Network has been given certificates, the certificate that, programs that are approved by Open College Network are recognized in this country. Am I correct? I will go back to Jude and answer that are recognized in this country.
Sorry, no, but I can't answer.
Yeah, but if you Google Open College Network, the program are official, they are recognized. And as I said, when you finish, you do your level 4, human rights education, or whatever, you can work with NGOs, international agencies, humanitarian aid assistance, whatever, emergency response of United Nations, wherever wars, conflicts are, because we will also learn how to work on conflict resolutions, prevent conflict, or working in areas. There are 18 small modules in this course, which each module is talking about the right of women. Another one will go to transitional justice. Transitional justice, for example, is where conflict were just out of a war. They negotiate how to establish the peace after war, the peace building, the negotiation, the conferences, what is called sometime Assemblée Nationale in French, what is sometime, So the post-war time, transitional justice, how to pursue those who have committed crimes against humanity, whatever, during the war and this and that. So there are 18 modules. Some of them is just we learn how to teach how to research on topics, specific topics. So each time is at level 4. So it is an authorized, recognized certificate in this country, the Open College Network. It's just that they don't go online, but we'll be also having seminars in university, TESOL University, where we have an office now.
The levels are recognized levels, European recognized levels. So level 3 is equivalent to survey level.
Yeah.
And level 4, first year undergraduate level. So, and there are European levels, which again is translation. It can be translated to the US and the Canadian and the Australian systems as well.
That's correct. So, so people who will be doing this, you do it. I don't think if after doing this at level 4, if you go to TESOL University and social science department, you say to register or do something, I don't think they will just evaluate and see what you have done, what is the background and this and that, and it will be accepted. So it is something that I think I will work a little bit toward that the law department with TESOL University. That's my university, one I know most. So I work with my teacher and the administration there, see what we can do. And I will be getting their support, any documentation, anything I will need. I continue going back to them. So we don't need any other special accreditation. If this university want to take over, want to accredit, want to recognize, want to listen, that's up to them. I will go to them, there's no problem. As I said, by January, I'll be talking to the people in the High Commission for Human Rights from Switzerland. They administrate the programs that are going on, so we'll be there. I wrote to them and they will be expecting me in January. So, as to going to other places, I know we will be having challenges. As I said, it's engaged everything: politics, anthropology, and all kind of science. In human rights encompass all kind of issues of our daily life. So economics, everything, because we study market, while some countries not open the international market. This is that all in the 18 modules that we'll be having, so that people will be well equipped really to participate in any decision that will be taking place in their own countries or by rulers of their countries, the government. As I said, the power belongs to them, so they can control, they can know what is going on, and even question the government the way they do things. So it is a recognized certificate in Europe and I think elsewhere, other places. Yeah.
This qualification, is it acceptable by like Amnesty International, is it acceptable throughout the world, or would it be done individually in each country?
Amnesty International is an institution like mine, our house. Just they are big, they have been there for years and years. Oxford and other agencies and institutions have been working toward human rights education, how to efficiently, effectively educate and whatever. But as I said, they have leaflet, they have this and that, but for the first time we are having this in a community level, not a university level, masters or LLM level for advocating human rights, but in a community level. Give them the chance to hear about this and be trained, equipped. I think for a period like 1 year or something, I have said I have not found it. So it is unique, actually. We don't need any accreditation or recognition from Amnesty. We just work with them as partners. If there is anything else.
Do you see yourself as a campaigning organisation as well? And I wonder how you would distinguish between, you know, different crimes and human rights. For example, in this country, female genital mutilation would be seen more as a criminal offence, grievous bodily harm. Would you see that as a human rights issue, though?
Yes,
in this
it is, at the same time as the criminal law will take its course. I will let Jude answer, she's a professor in the law department. Yes, the criminal justice will take you when you kill or when you rape, and then it is also a human rights issue. In the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it talks about